Welcome to this explainer. What if a single peace agreement, forged thousands of miles away, could fundamentally alter India's economic trajectory and totally reshape its foreign policy almost overnight? Well, today we're diving into the reported US-Iran peace arrangement. And listen, this isn't just some distant geopolitical headline. It's a critical event that directly dictates the cost of your daily commute, the price of your groceries, and really, New Delhi's entire strategic calculus on the global stage. So let's unpack exactly how Washington and Tehran putting down their arms sends immediate shockwaves straight to India's shores. Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover 5 key areas. First, the ripple effect. Second, energy and inflation. Third, the Chabahar dilemma. Fourth, the strategic autonomy test. And finally, we'll look at the path ahead.
All right, part 1, the ripple effect.
To really grasp why this deal is so pivotal, we kind of need to shift our geographic perspective a bit. We often view West Asia as this distant theater of conflict, but in the corridors of power in New Delhi, it's actually viewed as India's extended vital neighborhood. So, can one single deal change India's economy overnight? Well, when the United States and Iran move toward a diplomatic arrangement, it fundamentally means oil tankers can navigate safely through volatile waters. Ending decades of hostility between these two powers instantly ties high-level international diplomacy directly to the Indian wallet. Simply put, peace in West Asia directly guarantees stability in India. Moving right along to Section 2, energy and inflation. Let's ground this high-level geopolitical theory in some hard, undeniable economic realities. India imports roughly 85% of its crude oil requirements. That is a massive number, and it leaves the economy extraordinarily exposed to external shocks. Consider the vulnerability at the Strait of Hormuz. It's a narrow waterway, but it handles a massive chunk of global oil traffic. When tensions flare up, this strait becomes a severe choke point. A US-Iran peace deal, it secures this exact route, and the impact cascades from there. We're not just talking about crude oil dictating fuel prices at the pump. We're talking about fertilizers, which dictate our agricultural yields and food costs. We're talking about petrochemicals, which are literally the lifeblood of our manufacturing industry. Reopening this maritime choke point stabilizes the entire Indian industrial supply chain from the ground up. The absolute crucial takeaway here is a pretty simple economic equation. Lower global freight costs equal lower domestic Indian inflation. It's that straightforward. Smoother oil flows and reduced insurance risks for shipping conglomerates immediately translate to less inflationary pressure back home. Think about it. When a tanker is no longer forced to pay those exorbitant war risk premiums just to navigate the Persian Gulf, the cost of transporting goods absolutely plummets. And what does that mean for us? It means the everyday cost of living in India, from your local transport fares right down to supermarket prices, remains insulated. So West Asia is, fundamentally, a domestic economic issue. Now, let's shift gears to Section 3, the Chabahar dilemma. India's stakes in this peace deal go way beyond what arrives on incoming oil tankers. It's also heavily about where New Delhi chooses to drop its own anchors. And that brings us to the Chabahar Port in Iran. This is India's strategic gateway. The strategy here is essentially threefold. First, secure those heavy investments in the port's infrastructure. Second, use it to build critical overland access to Afghanistan and resource-rich Central Asia via the international north-south transport corridor. And third, achieve all of this while completely bypassing Pakistan. It serves as a direct strategic counterweight to the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor and Gwadar Port. Chabahar is the absolute cornerstone of New Delhi's connectivity ambitions, but right now it's caught in a messy geopolitical crossfire. The urgency of this whole situation hinges on one very specific date, April 26, 2026. That is the expiration date for the US sanctions waiver on Chabahar. India has been engaged in some intense, high-level diplomacy with Washington to protect Indian firms from getting hit by secondary US sanctions against Iran. So, a broader US-Iran peace deal is absolutely critical here. Easing those bilateral tensions means easing the sanctions pressure, and that grants India the crucial diplomatic breathing room it so desperately needs before this 2026 deadline strikes. Which leads us perfectly into Section 4, the strategic autonomy test. This impending expiration of the waivers, paired with the potential of a new peace deal, serves as the ultimate stress test for India's core foreign policy doctrine. We call it strategic autonomy. What is that? It's the active balancing of relations with multiple power centers to protect core interests without ever locking into a single bloc. Now, I really want to emphasize the word active here. Strategic autonomy is definitely not passive neutrality. It's a highly deliberate, aggressive juggling act where India firmly keeps its options open, absolutely refusing to be pressured into anyone else's geopolitical camp. Just look at the multi-directional tightrope New Delhi has to walk. On one hand, you have deep technological and defense cooperation with the United States. On the other, you've got these ancient civilizational ties and crucial connectivity partnerships with Iran. At the exact same time, India is maintaining robust energy trade with the Gulf states and profound high-tech security relations with Israel. A US-Iran peace deal doesn't magically simplify this diplomacy, it reorders it. India has to welcome regional peace while fiercely preserving its own channels and leverage across all these competing capitals. And the massive scale of what is at risk, it really cannot be overstated. Beyond the oil and the ports, there are roughly 9 million Indians living and working in the Gulf right now. Their remittances, which total tens of billions of dollars annually, are a major macroeconomic lifeline for India. Plus, our vital export trade routes run right through this neighborhood. When conflict flares up, labor markets panic and trade basically stalls. But when peace returns, business confidence surges. Every single data point underscores one simple truth: stability in West Asia is absolutely non-negotiable for India's domestic economic growth.
Finally, Section 5, the path ahead.
So as the dust settles, we have to weigh the scales. On the strategic plus side, India gains some real predictability in volatile energy markets, vital diplomatic breathing room to balance its Western allies, and the strategic space to finally accelerate the Chabahar project. But make no mistake, the geopolitical hazards remain severe. Peace deals in West Asia are notoriously fragile. Hardliners in both Washington and Tehran can disrupt progress overnight. Furthermore, US sanctions policy remains inherently unpredictable. Honestly, the greatest risk for India right now is policy overconfidence, operating under the assumption that the region is just permanently stabilized. New Delhi must remain vigilant, because sudden, dramatic reversals are practically woven into the region's history. I want to leave you with this thought to ponder. In a volatile world, peace isn't the end of strategy, it's just the beginning of a new game. A US-Iran deal presents a monumental opportunity for India to secure its energy future and expand its trade frontiers. But it demands that New Delhi remain extremely alert, fiercely adaptive, and strategically patient. As the unipolar era fades out, the true test for India is no longer just surviving these massive geopolitical shifts, but actually mastering them. Thank you for joining us for this explainer.